To Parks Recreation and Leisure Activity Committee, March 9th, 2026, 12 noon. We're gonna call the meeting to order. Any of the conflicts of interest? Councilor Drawn, okay?
No.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
Moved.
Moved by Mayor Brown, second by Councilor Drawn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could you turn your volume up maybe a hair, Bob?
Okay.
That's better, thank you. Adoption of the minutes, February 5th, 2026.
Moved.
Moved by Mayor Brown, second by Councilor Drawn.
Yes.
Was there any business arising from the minutes?
Councillor Bernard
Thank you.
is not here because he's in the air. But I thought I raised something about the monument policy. Where are we at with the monument policy?
I don't recall that being on the last meeting, your worship.
Okay,
Probably why you can't find it.
so could I put it on new business, under new business?
Yes, you
Just give
can.
that- But on page 4, Councillor Bernard raised concerns regarding the Simmons Sports Center canteen, including potential leasing options. Are we following up on that? Looking at, they noted that the vending machine and a coffee station has been added to the location, but
Yeah.
we're gonna look at maybe, like, I know in the
So-
past, it being the Charlottetown Minor Hockey Association. Some
Yes.
organization took it over, you remember that, Kevin?
Yes, I
Councillor
do.
Lindsay?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so we are looking into options right now, so we have in the meanwhile, we have the vending machine for coffee, we have the vending machine for like other types of snacks and food. The canteen is open when there's a high number of user groups in the facility, but it's not open all the time. And it probably won't be open all the time, but we are looking into other possible options of stuff we can do there, depending on what was sort of decided to go in the canteen. There might need to be upgrades done in the future to the building to accommodate that, but we are looking at options. It's not very, the profitability of is what we're struggling with. You need a lot of numbers, and then you need a lot of numbers going constantly for, say, a private sector business to come in or whatnot, and it takes a lot of time to actually,
'Cause I was in Caracat 2 weeks ago, they just built the new arena, they have a new arena there, the Uni Arena.
Mhm.
They contracted out not only their food services, but also a sports shop.
yeah, so there's options.
They're on model work here.
There are options, yeah, there are options, it's just to find that right option that will work for that facility, so we're still researching and looking into it and
So timeline, are we looking at a timeline, 6 months, a year?
we'd be looking at something, seeing what
For the
potentially
fall.
we could have to try as a pilot in the fall.
Yeah, because going back to that, I remember years ago, I'm starting to age myself, but when the reports come through for Cody Banks Canteen and Simmons, when the old Simmons was going, it wasn't very profitable. So, but like I'm like your worship, if we can get somebody in there, an outside group or something along that line that would like to lease it, let's say for, just for tournaments or whatever it's gonna be, I think it'd be great, but if you're gonna look at it and we're gonna work on it till the fall, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Your worship, anything else?
Yeah, under Simmons again, so I talked about the wall of memories, have we worked on, I know I keep bringing this up since we opened the facility, any timeline on that?
So I've been in communication with Heritage, with Natalie. So we are working on rolling it out. It's gonna be rolled out in phases. So we do have some things right now. For example, we have Jeff Mob's jersey. So that will be placed as part of it. We've selected some potential historical things, photos, those kind of things. So we're working at how those are going to be framed. So I would anticipate that will be done after sort of this winter season, and we'll work at that over the summer months.
So
we're
there is a great resource out there, Gordy McCarville, he did a research on local pop, soda in the Charlottetown area, included lots of information about the Simmons family.
So we've reviewed a lot of that information right now, so I'm just working with Natalie on how we're going to roll it out and make it look look appropriate, so, yeah, so we've done a lot of background research, it's just getting that, putting it together and then doing a layout and then starting the process of implementing that.
And on the Sherwood or the Cody Banks, I brought up about the who's leading the project. And it's a combination of Public Works and Parks, Recreation, Leisure. So DRSA, the architects from Halifax, they did a facility evaluation on the Cody Banks. You've received that, a draft copy. Will we be seeing that soon?
So we received the building condition assessment report, we received that, we are going through that right now with DRSA.
Okay.
And then once we make our recommendations, then it'll be going back to DRSA to actually provide us with a final report. I think the timelines right now is around early April, because we're just back and forth now, so that's when we anticipate having a final report. We're trying to have it done before we go back to the community with potential options for consideration by for the community to have feedback on. So we're looking at, the design options for community center, arena, whatever portions need to be in that whole plan, the overall master plan.
Yeah, I'm asking more about the evaluation on the current facility, Cody Banks.
Yeah.
DRSA did a structural analysis and I think mechanical. Richard, are you mechanical or chemical? Yeah, so there's been an engineering assessment done on the current facility. So there must be a lifeline, and I know the councillor from the area is part of the standing committee, Councillor Duran. So that's in their draft report, correct?
So they provided the draft report. I don't want to be, commenting on the draft report until we've actually reviewed it, went through it, because there was a lot of information in there. It's an over 100-page report. So staff right now, it's being reviewed by, Parks and Recreation Department staff, myself, Christopher, Mike White, and then it's also being reviewed by the Public Works staff, having a look at it as well. And then we've just sent comments back to the DRSA to address some of our questions. Once we get that back, then they'll present us with, another draft, and we might have to make a bit of changes as well. So we're just trying to collect all the information before, because there was a lot of still questions, unknowns in the actual initial draft.
Yeah, we want all the questions answered first.
Yeah, so I don't want to be commenting on when I don't,
Great.
things could change.
You're basically looking at Lifeline.
You were at the presentation that took place out at Cody Banks, right? And the options they showed. And I don't know if you're on council, but this whole process of building a new Simmons started back in 2010. And
That's right.
before that. And we didn't open the new one until 2014. So there's a lot of time span in there.
2024 we're looking at.
Sorry, 2024, so 14 years. So if you look at trying to raise that funding through other levels of government, there's a time span there. That's why I'm very interested in the feasibility analysis of how the structure is current, what is the current state of the structure, and also the mechanical. And that would include other operations that keep that facility breathing every day, whether it's summer, winter, fall, spring. So it'd be great to get that as soon as possible, Frank, because that's gonna affect how we look at our capital budget. And I know we're gonna be discussing the capital budget in today's meeting, but are we gonna have to put more money into Cody Banks to, keep it on Lifeline, or?
So the big thing right now we're looking at is this is a 10-year lookout kind of thing. So we're looking at it would be 10 years looking outwards kind of thing, how long? So we don't anticipate, we have in our Cody Banks capital budget, we have set aside some dollars already to do our regular upgrades that we've identified.
Right.
I wanna say maybe it's 110,000, I can't remember exactly how much it is. But then this would be laying out for future, so 2027 onward.
Yeah.
And if you do this type of investment, how long will it keep the facility open? How long can the facility stay open? It could be, so we're saying 10 years out, so it could be 10 years, it could be more than 10 years, depending on what you invest in the facility.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Good.
And it is a priority, we've been trying to just work it through. It's just a pretty complicated when you're looking at a building of that size and all the components that are part of the building as well.
And the moral of the story is just to finish up, and that is that we have no plans in tearing down Cody Banks Arena just for the sake of tearing down Cody Banks Arena. but if this report comes through, as you say, if we need to put $150,000 in 1 year, to keep it going for another year, or 4 years, that's an option too, right? But, as far as, as Councilor Drong was campaigning for a long time, is for Sherwood Rec Center.
Exactly.
And him and I chatted one time shortly anyway, and it's just, it has nothing to do with the Cody Bank.
The rec center.
It's a rec center, and we're in full support of that. Okay, thank you for that. Do you have any comments on that, Councilor Drong?
No, I appreciate that. I just, for you and the mayor there, pushing this forward, which, I understand we have to look at an assessment and where are the rinks going, but again, for a rec center, where can that be, put in place? Do we look at that right away, or can we look at that right away? Can we build it, with a stop line to say, okay, when the rink needs to be replaced, it could be added here. There's many things to look at it, but it's just waiting, and the mayor did say, but the capital budget as well coming up, we do have extra money from last year. We put in, 500,000, and I think we still have an excess of 300. So is there any way we can get something started? I mean, that's something that if we had access to that report, or, an update maybe at the next meeting that we have, where are we going? Where could this be broken down into two different, entities here? How can we proceed with one? Those are just a lot of questions. It just seems that, we're waiting, and I know everything takes time, but
Been waiting a lot of years.
we have some money available to get going, so I don't know what the delay is, especially when you're going back to the consultant, is, we don't have access to the report, so we don't know where we're at.
Right.
So I just don't like being left out in the open and staff make all the decisions, and ask all the questions when the committee could be asking the questions as well.
No, you're exactly right, and as our manager said too, we're hoping by the 1st of April to have the report back to us. And that's in
Okay.
what, that's probably 2 weeks time?
So yeah, and I just
We're
want.
hoping.
Yeah, it's not necessarily we'll have a first,
Draft.
it'll be a first draft. Now, Public Works Committee, I've asked, that they share with their committee, and that's an actual sharing with joint committee, since this is an actual cross-departmental project. So that I'll be working with Albert to provide an update on, there'll be the sort of Sherwood Sport and Recreation Master Plan,
Right.
which includes the Sherwood Rec Hall. And like you alluded, that one, we all know that facility is at the end of its life, so it's, would probably be a phased-in approach. That could be the first thing that gets underway. But then there's also the building condition assessment report with regards to Cody Bank, so we'll be providing input on that. So
Excellent.
that'll be brought, I hope that I will plan to do is bring a joint report.
Mhm.
And I'm going to probably figure it will be early, in April.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. A verbal update on dogs off leash concerns. Would that be you, Christopher, or Frank, or?
It'll be myself, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So just to let you know, we have been consulting back and forth with the police department with regards to our approach. We have, right now, there has been additional signs added to the actual, we started with Victoria Park. We've updated the signs so that they're more clear and that people can see that there is actually, there is a bylaw in place. There's a QR code on those signs now, so you can actually go top of them and see the actual, it takes you directly to the bylaw. With regards to, with requests, how many incidents has there been and whatnot, so we have just received information from the police department that we're gonna go through and review.
Okay.
And sort of give an overall general report. But yeah, so things are moving. We haven't heard, since the incident previous before, no additional incidents has been brought to our attention. But that doesn't mean that it's not still happening, but I think it's a lot of it is public awareness, once people become aware of it and that they will adhere to the bylaw. But if not, there will be, Humane Society and police are aware and they're willing to enforce.
Yeah.
And there will be a public education campaign as well that will take place in the spring once the weather.
No, the reason I had that on the agenda because that was brought up at council by a fellow councillor, and I said we'll certainly look into it.
Yeah, so we are getting
So we
the,
are looking into it.
yes, we are getting the data and
Okay.
we'll do a high level report on that.
Excellent, thank you for that. Okay, number 6A, 2025-26 capital project status report. Our manager, please.
So I'm not gonna go through everything that's in the list, cause it is just an update, but you can review at your leisure. The numbers I'm more or less gonna touch on is where we're at with regards to, percentage completed. You'll see here, first one is Cody Banks Arena. So the only thing that we're still working on right now, or waiting on, is the actual building condition assessment report. So we anticipate that to be completed in April. So we are 85% done of all the projects in that area. With regards to Simmons Sports Center, we are pretty well 100% on everything. The only item that has been put on deferred to next year is the AT pathway around the Simmons sports field. We've done ones in front of the Simmons Sports Place, but since we're replacing the artificial turf field replacing with a new artificial turf field, we didn't want to start putting pathways in, so that'll be done in 2026. And we also didn't receive our AT funding that we had made application for. With regards to Parks Development and Playground, we are 90% complete right now, and you can go through all the list there. The one item that we're waiting for is that we've ordered 2 medium structures, a swing and an independent structure that we're waiting to receive, that we should have in by, we're anticipating to have in by the end of March, so it can be charged to this fiscal. But overall, we've had great success in there and have pretty well expensed the whole budget. The Parks Master Plan, just finishing off the RFP, we're working our best to get it out this week. So that'll be out and then we'll award that work. The East Rowley Lagoon, we are 99% completed there. The most recent upgrades to happen was the building that's on the property. So it's the exterior of the building has all been upgraded, so that it'll keep the interior of the building in good condition. eWatch cameras, we've had success in getting our 3 eWatch cameras located from last year, all up and going. The last one was J. Frank Macaulay Park. And right now, we're in the process of ordering 2 other cameras to have installed in the spring. Locations that we're working on. The tennis courts, we are still dealing with the deficiencies, and we're working with the contractor to identify a solution to that, which will happen in the spring.
Hold that, Frank, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So we're gonna be losing our courts again for a little while this summer, correct? Victoria Park?
We're working at those 4 to 8 courts. There are still deficiencies, and we want to come up with a plan that's gonna have the minimal impact on use, but it will have an impact. But we wanna make sure that we don't have pooling because it will impact the actual age. It will impact the overall courts over a long term. That if you have water buildup, you have potential freezing and thawing, potentially creates cracks and whatnot, so.
And our tenants that are always use these every year, would they be heads up lots of time? This is March right now, so that's the only reason I'm asking.
Yeah, we'll give them as heads up as soon as we have sort of a solution and plan. But then we're also, in our capital budget, we also have put forward to do work on the other 3 courts to resurface them. The base on those courts are all good, so we're looking at it wouldn't be as big a job. We'd be using the actual surface, it would just be a resurface of asphalt and then the acrylic paint that would be put on in the new lines and whatnot, so.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on that so far? No? Go. Oh, go ahead, your worship.
So on page 10, 10, 422,000 for Victoria Park tennis courts. Last year we budgeted 422, did we spend that, all of it?
So that's where we're at, we're about 90, so right now we have a substantial holdback that we're not paying because there are deficiencies.
So is this 422 for the other 4 courts? So instead of.
No, those are for
Is
the
that
5,
right?
no, these are for the 5 courts, so this is last year, so this is last year's budget, so this is the status report on last
It's
year's.
just a carryover, is it?
We're not carrying this over, so this has nothing to do with this year's budget, this is 2025, 2026. So all this money that's over there relates to last year's budget.
Right?
So that's we had budgeted. There's gonna be some that won't be spent. We gotta figure out how we're gonna set it up. There'll be some holdback because we're dealing with deficiencies.
Okay.
But we have a new budget this year that we put forward.
Okay, and then Simmons Sports Field, page 10. So there are new regulations for the field size. I think now CFL come 2027 will be 100 yards. And then the end zones will be 15 yards.
Yeah.
And the uprights go at the end of the 15 yards.
Yeah, so what we're doing with that, I was just gonna get to that, so that'll be
Oh.
next, but it's, so that, we've just been working on that in the design for the new Simmons, sports field.
Right,
So it's actually Football Canada's regulations will be following,
So
not
is that
the
CFL?
CFL. No, not CFL.
so you're going back with the uprights at 20 yard end zones?
We're going with what Football Canada sanctioned.
So what's Football
Uh,
Canada go with?
So it's 110 and 20 and 20. I think it is 110.
So that's 160 yards,
No, 150.
150.
Yeah, 150. So there's so many facilities across the country that would be millions to upgrade these across. So their Football Canada is staying with the actual staying with the actual Football Canada regulations, which is 110, 20 and 20. We confirmed that with the local group, but also with Football Canada. And it's just because there's so many, like just think of all those football fields around across the country. So that is what they're doing. And
So is it 150 yards all turf, or is it gonna be like what Cornwall started with, 110 turf and then 20?
No, we're
So-
proposing,
yeah, we're proposing it to be all turf. Yeah, we're proposing to be all turf. That's, and we're just working on actually the design right now and the actual, getting the actual.
So CFL will be playing, from 2027, will be playing on fields with 100 yards, 15-yard end zones,
Yeah.
and the uprights at the end of the 15 yards. Geez, would they do that in the United States?
Excuse me?
Would they do that in the United States, the American Football League and the National
No, that's
Football?
different.
No, I know. What I'm saying, if they had regulations, then they changed, that universities and communities would stay with the old.
Football, universities and like Football Canada, they are staying with the old regulations because CFL is changing more or less for the viewership, I think is, and I don't know why they exactly changed it, but they're changing the
Can that be the
field.
same for university football too?
No, they're staying with Football Canada as far as I know. But we haven't confirmed that, cause we went with Football Canada regulations, cause it would be so many fields, to change. Who knows down the road, many years, but as of right now, Football Canada is staying with the actual the
the
110.
previous, what they
previous,
have right now.
Yeah, and there's other projects that are happening across the country, we're not the only one,
Okay.
so.
Very good.
And just on the, here, it's right here, 1.1 million for the multi-sport outdoor facility. That's on page, that's on page 10 also. It says 3% completed, is that what it says, Frank?
Yeah, so right now we are working on the
So that'll be a
RFP.
carryover for
That
next
will be
year?
carryover, yes, that's a carryover for sure, we're working, and so is in the artificial turf field, we anticipate having 10% completed. And it might actually, it's probably less than that, we've done working a lot of design work, so we could be going out to tender late March, early April. I think that's what they indicated here. Yeah, post and tender late, and then award in April. So the other one is we're just going out the RFP to engage in engineering services, so we'll get that awarded hopefully by the end of the month in that time frame, and then we'll be working on the design drawings, tender documents, and posting the tender.
Is there a reason that we got to 3%? That we're at 3% of that? Is that because,
We've done research, we're doing research now and we're working on the RFP, so we're working on getting the RFP posted for engineering services. So we've just started, we haven't been able to get that project implemented yet. It's a bigger project that takes more time. There's more components to it too, since we're looking at going with the chiller system, potentially right in the ice to pipe system, so it is a more complicated design that we'll have to have engineering services involved.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So the two big ones, and then the other quick ones here, Victoria Park Development. We are right now, of course I didn't bring over. We've awarded the lift station project, which is Kiwanis Dairy Bar Lift Station project, which will be done early April. So that's a project we just got awarded here recently. And then also the Victoria Park the tennis court accessible pathway, we have the design done right now and anticipate going out to tender later this month. And the central field development, the upgrades to the central field has been completed, so that's been all addressed. And then the Victoria Park Skate Park, we are working on working on an expression of interest we're sending out here. We have consulted with skate park expert companies, but it is a little bit more technical. We're trying to renovate an existing facility to make it to address the deficiencies. And then our disc golf, we've identified a location, we have the baskets, and we will commence construction in May, installing those baskets. And the location we're working at is the East Royalty Park, it's the old lagoon property. We're identified that to go. We already talked about the multi-sport outdoor facility, buildings and clubhouses. Just working on finishing right now the actual building. They're working on upgrades to it. So that is anticipated, that's to be completed by the end of March. And we just finished the install late last fall, the batting cage installed out there as well. Outdoor basketball court and pads, the buckets and borders project, as everyone knows, was completed. We put some lines at one of our courts, but we still have, we ran out of time at the end of the fall, so we have 2 more courts that we're lining in the spring of 2026 and installing basketball uprights. The J. Frank Macaulay, as everyone's aware, that pathway is completed to phase 2. We also dealt last fall with removing Japanese knotweed and then planting a drainage behind the backstop. That work was all able to get completed last year, so that's 100% done. Andrews Pond Trail Development and Acadian Drive Trail Development, those are both 100% completed. Those are partnership with 2 groups. The East Roley landfill site and AT pathway, just working on the design. That project's been a challenging project because of where it's located. It's next to the East Roley landfill site. We have a very narrow footprint we have to work within. So we've been assessing, so that will get out here in the spring and hopefully we'll get that tendered late spring for the work to be done this summer. And the other small pathway upgrades, that work was not able to take place last year. We ran out of time. We were waiting for other projects to be finished before we started them, so. And then the last one was the Confederation Landing. There was a linkage going to be created between Founders Hall and Peaks Wharf. That ended up not proceeding since CADC didn't get the funding, so. That's last year and we're going to be moving forward into this year very soon.
Doing fantastic, you and your staff, Frank. Question. The boards are being replaced, I don't know if we have any say in this or not, at the Carey A this year, along with the renovations, new seats and everything. Is there a place that we can put those boards as an outdoor rink project or something along that line? I was asked that by somebody because the boards are good for that. And if not, like they're only gonna go and waste. You know, there must be a spot somewhere.
So what we did, our staff did meet with the manager out there, the GM, and I haven't had an opportunity to follow up with them yet. I don't know whether you had an opportunity, Christopher.
I was there,
You were
yes.
there, so it was more or less just initially met and discussed, so I gotta follow up with staff to see if there were boards that we could use for a potential capital project working at, or for potential, and I think it was just the boards, it wasn't the glass.
No
The
glass, just the board.
No, just the board.
so.
And that's my question is that, would we as a Parks and Recreation Committee have a spot for them?
So that's we're assessing, we're assessing, yeah, so we're assessing right now whether it could be part of a new capital project upgrade at somewhere else, or whether it's something we can use at one of our existing facilities,
Yeah.
and it would be Cody Bank. So we are,
Okay.
staff have met with them, assessing the condition and assessing sort of the,
You'll find out more for us.
yeah, so we'll have a.
That was just brought up to me at the Panther game too, and they're saying, you know, these boards are gonna be replaced, and like they're only gonna go in the garbage unless someone takes them. And that's not good either. But if we can save $1 on them by putting them somewhere in our other projects, it's fantastic. So thank you for that. Any questions on the budget, Councilor Drawn?
No, just a reminder there, we were discussing about the basketball at Mulberry there, Frank. That was gonna be put in the budget for this year, so I'm sure that's still on your radar, is it?
It is, yeah, it's in next year's budget, so this was 2025, 2026. So that's in the 2026, 27. That is on our list, Councillor Duran.
Thank you. No, I'm good with that, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Okay,
So if I look at the budget, Mr. Chair,
mhm,
on December 8th, we went over a capital budget for Parks and Recreation, correct, Frank? I think I'm looking at it here.
That makes sense,
Mhm.
yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So what Councilor Duran asked, is that under sports fields, sport facilities, and buildings?
It would be underneath, sorry, I just gotta. Sport facilities and buildings, correct. It'd be underneath the, outdoor basketball courts.
Have done, okay.
Yeah.
And we have 150,000 for that? 200? It says 200 and I think must be a carryover from, and partner funding is 50,000.
So, no, so that would have been last year's, so that was last year's budget, so this year's budget is $70,000. So we don't have the big project last year.
Oh, so you're not gonna do the buckets and baskets out at Mulberry?
No, that was J. Frank McCauley, that was so that's an application we made and we're lucky to get, so what we're
That's a
looking
different
at
group
there, yeah, we're
altogether.
looking at there is the basketball pad that is there is in need of either an upgrade of that or actually trying to see how we can incorporate it into the actual existing multi-sport facility. So we're looking at the options in there, so we've set aside some dollars to do an either or.
Okay, and then looking at 25, 26. And I see you budgeted for 26, 27, Confederation Landing. Creating a defined linkage between Founder's Hall and the Confederation Landing. CADC was looking for partner funding, 75,000. Was that from the feds or was that from?
So that was
International
last year's, that's
Monetary
last year's
Federation.
project, so we were contributing 25,000 and they were looking for funding from potentially ACOA and the actual.
So we have it in the budget again this year.
No, so this year's $100,000 and I don't have that sheet with me, but it's for other upgrades that have to happen in Confederation Landing Park.
Oh, so the 100,000 we have there for next year or this year is, where is it? Here it is. It says, is that under sports facilities or is that under, what's that under?
Which the Confederation Landing?
Yeah, Confederation Land, you have 100,000 budgeted,
It is a stand-up as along water access and beach access
so
development.
we're gonna
That's
take it
in-
on ourselves, is that what that means?
No, so this is not for that pathway. That pathway
this is another one.
No, this is just for capital upgrades to Confederation Landing Park. We have a lot more users that are using the park right now, and I'll use, for example, the downtown farmers market. So we have a lot of groups, there's a lot of infrastructure in that park that needs some capital upgrades.
So did CADC drop the ball or did we drop the ball?
No, they were looking for funding and there was no,
They didn't
They
receive
Couldn't
it.
get commitments.
they couldn't get commitment.
And they're not gonna look at it again, that's it.
They put it on hold. It's just shelved it for now and see if it's something in the future that comes back, but yeah. So those, and that capital information there, so there would have been updates done, some updates done. The spreadsheet wasn't necessarily all adding up and whatnot, so the new capital budget you will receive will have everything all.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the December 8th presentation of the capital budget 26, 27. And you're, unless I'm wrong here, it says your total will be $7.8 million and last year was 6.8. Is that correct? In the last column. I'm trying to compare the both because
So
I-
last year's would have been a little over $8 million.
well, I have it here, this is less partner funding.
Less partnership funding, yeah, so
This
that's
is-
and 1.225 partnership funding. So then it goes back to the budget, so there will be a carryover of a large amount, which about 5.5 million.
Oh.
And then there'd be the new city budget about 2.485. So we're in around the same range, cause there's still some partnership funding in there.
Yeah, so that 6.8 from last year was less partner funding. The 7.8 for this year, for 26, 27, is that, do we know the partner funding or is that our cost? Just trying to
Yeah, I'll have to confirm, I don't have the most, I don't know if I have the most up-to-date spreadsheet here right now.
7.1 is the city
Here,
net.
okay, Christopher.
7.9 is the city total
So that's
with the
less,
partner funding.
so 800,000 less, okay.
So, and that's, we were
Carried
having
over, I
some,
should
we were
say.
having some challenges with the actual, some of the columns adding up and carrying forward. So that was just addressed here over the last week or so. So it's, yeah, so we're around the same range for total,
So Frank, what are we carrying forward from 25-26 capital budget to this year? Did you say 5.5?
yeah, so the Simmons, which is the big project. So we're doing the design work right now, so that'll be the large one we're carrying forward of about 3.3.
3.35.
Yeah, 3.35, so we're carrying over that one, and then we're also carrying over the multi-sport,
Multi-sports,
the Elmer
1.1
McFadden.
out in
Yeah,
East Road.
there, so that's the other large one, and then some small amounts
And
of funding.
Federation Landing, that's not going ahead.
Well, that's not we're not carrying that over,
No,
that's
just
new
budgeting.
funding.
CDBG
Drop.
funding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some small amounts here, I'll use like disc golf course, we're carrying that over, the Victoria Parks, skate park. So there are some small amounts being carried over, and that'll be clear when that budget document is presented to you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you for that, Frank. As I said, your staff is doing great work, or our staff, whatever you want to call it. We're on top of things. The next one is a seniors engagement letter of a recommendation. We received that from the Senior Engagement Committee. They were looking at if we will endorse a letter to the province to put internet and cable in common rooms at the senior homes.
Good idea. Support it.
And it's not costing us anything, and I'm in full support of that. Councilor Jerome?
Yes, definitely, thank you.
And Mayor Brown?
And I can also tell you that there is a Computers for Success program.
Yes.
There's collaboration, cooperation between federal and provincial governments, and they provide laptops. I know Susie Dillon has delivered some to the senior homes. But if you can't afford internet and all you can do is keep your phone, it's great that we could have connection available in the common room so they can use these laptops donated by CFS,
Yeah.
the communities.
No, it's a fantastic idea, and
Computers for Success.
yeah, and as I said, like but just to make it clear, it's not going in every apartment, it's just going in the common rooms of these senior homes. Because I had someone say to me one day, well, if all the seniors are getting it, why don't you put it in our house? I said, no, it's going to a common room at the senior facility. Like if you go to 501
parlor.
Queen.
It's going to the
Owned
parlor.
by the province.
Yeah, the parlor. Okay, so we're all in agreement with that?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring a resolution, I believe, to council, just so we have council support. We felt that it would have more sort of
Bite to
bite to credit, and
Sure.
then we will draft a letter up that will come very likely from
Yeah.
the mayor and CAO or whoever we want to do it,
No, yeah, come from mayor and council, but
mayor and council, yeah.
the council could do it from his own pen, and like office of councillor has the responsibility or the leadway to give letters of recommendation, but I believe that the chair wants it from not only the standing committee, but mayor and council.
That's what we're saying, so we're bringing a
Yeah.
resolution to
Yeah.
council to
Yeah.
obtain there, so that we'll obtain that tomorrow, and a letter will be sent out
That's
shortly.
no problem.
No, perfect.
So we're all in
Just
agreement
wanted to
with
make
that.
sure.
Unanimous.
Unanimous, ooh. Senior engagement committee, the minutes are in your package for their meeting, the senior engagement committee. If anyone had a chance to review them, I don't think there's any questions in that. And the youth engagement committee, the minutes are also there. They're doing a great job also, out there in the community. I think that's under any new business.
Yes.
Oh, here we go, I didn't
Just
wanna bring
wanted
that up.
Just put it on your,
Yeah,
not your
that's-
back burner, your front burner. I know it'll come up, because the deputy mayor is always asking about it, the monument policy, where are we at?
So I can give an update on that.
If you can leave it to the next meeting. And Frank, just on naming parks. We have parks, I think, is it 150 open spaces, green spaces around the city?
Would it be in the range of that, Jeff?
And about 100 playground, like parks.
70 with playgrounds.
There's one out in West Royalty. It's called McPhail Park. you know where it is?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I didn't know,
My memory's not
I
that
didn't know
good.
where it was either until I looked it up. It's off the Hurry Road. It's actually, to access it, you have to go between two homes on the Hurry Road. Anyways, some residents have been using it, and residents that live near that park are saying, no, you can't sit here, it's just a green space, open space. It'd be great if we could identify our parks where they are, like, not only where they are, but some signage. Doesn't have to be like we have for the heritage squares, something just to say McPhail Park.
So we do have a system where we actually do name our parks and whatnot. There are some open spaces which do not have names, they're just identified.
This does,
Kind of thing. This does have what has
has name, McPhail Park.
yeah, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily have a sign. The signs that we put up, the larger signs, they are, I forget the cost, but they are more expensive. So we usually try to put them where we have infrastructure,
Right.
playgrounds, those kind of things.
It has a playground, it has
Okay,
equipment in it.
Okay, so if it is identified, then we can look at putting it on our list to put
Are
a
you
sign
on
in
Google
place.
Map?
Yes.
You must have the updated Google Map, because I was looking at it,
Yeah.
I just saw.
So we do have a
Autographs.
system, we're replacing so many signs per year. There's a lot of, like you said, a lot of parks, so it's taking
Yeah.
us time.
Yeah, there is an identified walkway or
Yeah.
right of way into the park
Yeah.
between two properties, it's
Yeah.
chained off and everything, but it
Yeah,
doesn't have,
yeah.
it's right by the little cul-de-sac.
Sort of like John Street down there and all that, right?
Yeah, so as long as people
It
can
is.
look it up on line too, if we don't have a sign there and it's an identified park, then we say, yeah, it is identified park and anyone can go in and use it, there's no restrictions.
But I think for these green spaces, open parks, I'm not looking at the same type of signage that we have like for Des Brazil Park or King Square, Heritage Park. Just something that would fit that corporate symbolism that we try to project, you know,
Yeah.
blue, green, and something that would
The
identify,
same
just,
as what we have for some of the smaller.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have, so we have a class system right now, we have district parks, we have,
this
you
is
know, the
definitely,
neighborhood
neighborhood-
park.
this is a
So we
neighborhood
have,
park.
we have a lot of others, so we'll
Yeah,
have
I
a look
just
at that
wanted to
park and
pass
see.
it on to you.
And we'll
Again,
create our
I
list.
didn't know until someone said, and you don't know the park, and I said, let me just Google it, and that's where I found it. But I have
7
the old
Hurry
Google
Road.
Maps.
And the email that we received, Frank and Christopher, about Du Bois, is it? Ward 2,
Yeah, that's
or Ward 4, I'm sorry?
Yes.
And
Katie Park.
exactly, that just, but what I understood and the information I got back is that Public Works plows our street and plows the snow right there.
So we've addressed that, so
You
the
did
snow has
address
been
that?
removed, yeah, the snow's been removed, they were just at the end of the drive, when the road, it's a little bit of a, it was planned to be a right of way at one time, but it
Okay.
ended up being actually given
That's a
to us as
park also, right?
It is a park, it's a
Yes,
small
that's right.
park,
More.
so there's a turn there, and so what they were doing is they were pushing the snow at that turn, so now they're actually not leaving the snow, so people can get into the actual
So
area.
that's looked after,
That's been already addressed, yeah.
just
I think that
wanted
was
to be on
brought
top of things.
Under the last year, and Alicia, you're taking action, that's great.
So it's a partnership between Public Works and Parks and
What
Rec,
was that
so.
word, Brad?
The,
Civility.
The only one with regards I'll provide an update on is the monument policy, so I've presented to the strategic priorities committee an
Okay,
actual first draft.
good.
So I'm in the process now of making updates from that meeting, it's on my list, it's just been hard to get to. And then I'll be meeting with economic development and the planning department and comps, and we'll be tweaking that, and then we'll be bringing that second draft
I'm
back
thinking
to
under economic
strategic
development.
priorities. Well, no, we're looking at the departments that have feedback, so strategic priorities, I've taken the lead on it, but
Right,
it's going strategic priorities. Economic development has the art policy or the art.
oh, yes, okay.
So they have
Yeah.
things that will be potential monuments, things that will happen. Of course, planning is involved because of permitting side of things, and then comps and with regards to, they have some good information on, you know, the wording and whatnot. There is policies out there, but there's not as many as you'd think there would be on
No,
monuments.
that's right.
So, and they're all sort of unique to each municipality.
Okay, excellent.
So
Councillor
Frank,
oh, sorry.
just on that, the policy does fall under monument policy, does it fall under the terms of reference for parks and recreation, or does this fall under strategic priorities?
It's being presented to the strategic priorities committee. I've
see here.
taken the lead on it since there has to be one department take the lead to present. So as a staff person, that we would probably have the most requests relating to monuments and plaques and
Yeah.
memorials on park property. So it made sense for our department to work on creating one, working with the economic development side.
So does it come through the chair of this standing committee that presents it to council, or is it strategic?
No, it goes strategic priorities. I'm presenting, so I can, any staff person can present to different committees.
Right.
So this strategic priorities was directed to be the lead department on it, so it's going to their committee because it's a cross-departmental policy, just like the naming, municipal naming, asset naming policy.
That falls under,
Strategic priorities, it came through their department for the same kind of reason, it involves multiple departments.
Yep, you're
you.
right.
But usually one department will take the lead and present.
Yeah, but you don't need 18 people.
Yeah, try to collect all the information. So this was our first draft. I know Deputy Mayor wasn't there at the time. But we'll have the second draft that will be sent out and comments can be made and presented at an upcoming meeting.
Councillor Drong, do you have anything else you'd like to discuss, sir?
No, that's great, Kevin, thank you very much.
Okay, I guess your
motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn, moved by
Move.
Mayor Brown, second by Councillor Drong.
Perfect.
Everyone have a great day. Thank you very much.